Now, the S stands for stop. I need to take in what's going on around with this person in this scene. Now, I have to look at the environment. I have to look for anything that may be unsafe that can cause me harm or him harm. Traffic. I've got two guys at the opposite ends of the trail to protect me from any moving vehicles. Now, talking about moving vehicles, we're at the back of a trailer that's hooked up to a rig. We need to make sure that vehicle's in park, the emergency brake is on, it's chalked, and that it's not a danger to me or to my person. So I also have to consider the unknown hazards, things that are around me that I'm not obviously aware of. I have to maintain a situational awareness. And I have to continue this process through the entire time we're doing this, because things can change. So in this case, right behind us, we have a drop-off. We have trees around with broken and damaged and old branches. We have propane gas in the trailer. If there's damage to this vehicle, we may be exposed to those hazards as well. So we need to take all of that in. In addition, let's talk about personal protective equipment. The foundation of this is gloves. Eye protection is another good piece to have. Sometimes you may not have gloves or eye protection, but using something like a plastic Ziploc bag to put your hand in because you're going to control pressure on a wound, that will work just as well. It has to be something that doesn't allow fluids to pass through it. Now, when it comes to calling for help, there are different methods, and depending on where you're at, you may have different resources to use. You may have cell phone coverage, and then you could call 911, but you also have to know where you're at. You may be using radios. Knowing where you're at is a vital part of being able to tell 911 where you are and where you need help at. Another method of summoning help would be to send somebody in a vehicle or a couple of people in a vehicle to go where there is cell reception or radio reception to call for help. Now, scene size up is the start of providing care for somebody who needs first aid. We need to use that acronym SETUP to ensure that we stay safe, the other people that are helping can stay safe, and we can do the best we possibly can for our person. So let's talk for a minute about injuries versus illness. When we're working with somebody who's been injured, there's generally what we call a mechanism of injury. It's how the person got hurt, and it will speak to the type of injuries they may have suffered. Now, when it comes to illness, this is generally when the body is starting to fail somehow, or there are complications with the body's functions. Injuries are a little more obvious. Illnesses are not so obvious. But we need to differentiate between the two so we understand the type of help that they may need. So in summary, we always want to apply that SETUP acronym so we can stop, make sure the environment is safe, check the environment, establish safety with traffic, look for those unknown hazards, and have the appropriate protective equipment. I hope you found this information to be useful, and we'll see you in the next lesson.